Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. Well, yeah, I was going to say this is sort of a little bit of a rush because, it's it's 4th of July, guys. I mean, it's actually no longer the 4th of July. It's the day after, but it's been a busy week for both of us. Family stuff, band, for Nick, band stuff, getting stuff ready for their band's upcoming release, and also
sold out show I played.
Yeah, sold out show played in Asheville, North Carolina, which that's all. I mean, that's honestly enough right there. And then on top of that, he met with his mother earlier today for 4th of July because he a good son. He is a good son.
Also, I hadn't seen my aunts and my uncle in like over a year. So.
Oh yeah. So there you go. Because it was a pandemic that stopped you from seeing them last time, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Now that things are finally calming down and things are on the up and up, if you will, we now are getting back into the swing of things, and I'm happy about that. And yeah, it's time for us to watch some Fire Force. This is going to be Fire Force episode 17. Boys
Be Weak. I edit this earlier and realized we hadn't recorded it. And I was like, crap.
I guess without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. There we go. This is episode 8. Boys Be Weak. Fire Rat. Not my name, bro.
That's what she said.
Oh, kid.
できるわね。死んじゃうかもしれないけど、できるね。できます。ナダ君、落ち着いて。話を聞いてくれ。やめろ。僕の中を覗くな。炎の力に飲まれるんじゃない。大丈夫だ。君は強い子だ。ああ、そうだよ。だからやってやるんだ。とんでもねえエネルギーだ。相談が来て。500キロぐらいのクレーターができるよ。そんなの逃げ場がないじゃないですか。
Yeah, you're right.
シューター、奥の方に下がって。はい。いや無駄です。どこに避難するって言うんだ。できる、やれる、やってやる。この街を吹き飛ばすこともなんでもねえ。バカ野郎。
Oh.
俺は森人だ。俺はもうインカも死んだもなざきもこの反射力よ。
Damn, homie.
ちょっとやりすぎたか。
No shit, Jaume.
柱と森人は二人三脚。
One fucking one of them that I kind of think I probably could have liked. I think he's about to get fucking killed. Yep. Anytime you get a flashback sequence when someone's in a lot of danger.
Ow. The
Blow
moon?
up the moon?
Jesus Christ, man. He's like Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Moon!
この町の弱い者が一瞬で吹き飛ぶところだった。俺の奪うところだったぞ。
おお。
強くなっちゃダメ。失望したよナタク。ダメな子だ。
Fuck you, dude.
そんなこと言わないでください。僕だってできるんだ。黒野さん。任せて。僕に。できる。やらなきゃ。
待て、黒野。
離して、黒野さん。僕は
ダメだ。
なんで僕にアドラバーストとかいうものを。
もういい。
なんでですか。
もうこれ以上強くなるな。何を焦る必要がある。お前はもっと今はこちらがいたぶりたくなるような弱さを大事にしろ。それはとても貴重で儚いものだ。
Jesus, man.
ありがとうございます。
99% の人間たちから見ればおかしな関係であっても 1% の人間たちには最良の場合がある。ウハシラメの森人はあいつかな。もうヘトヘトだ。ウハシラメは灰島に預けて一旦退却すんぞ。
At least they didn't kill the one member of the White Clad that I feel like isn't a complete piece of shit.
この国で灰島を敵に回すと生きていけないよ。
それは脅しですか？
お互い貴重な時間をそんなことで潰す気はないよ。もし灰島と協力していくというなら、リヒトの殺害命令の件は考え直してやってもいい。
ナタクの処遇はどうなりますか？
君が研究に力を貸してくれるなら、自動施設での実験内容を改めよう。
灰島には伝道者とのつながりやアマテラスについて何かを秘匿している疑いがあります。
西洋教の始まりには人ではない存在が関与していた。
アマテラスの中に人が入っているのは知っているんですか？
ああ、もちろん。アマテラスは一人のアドラバーストを持つ人間で動いている。
Damn.
一人の犠牲で東京公国という国が成り立っているのだ。もしアマテラスを停止すれば、この公国で生きる人々はどうなる？
灰島が母体である第三の元大隊長ドクター・ジョバンニが伝道者とつながっていたことは？
第三の件は申し訳なかったが、この公国の人口の 70% は灰島関係者だ。
灰島がアドラバーストを求める理由は何なんですか？
アマテラスの第2の燃料だよ。君もアドラバーストを持っているんだよね。その命で1500万人が救えるなら自分の命など安いものだろう。
消防官の命は安くない。消防官が生きることで大勢の人が救われるんだ。それこそ1500万人以上の命を救うかもしれないんだぞ。
だから俺が誰の犠牲もいらないアマテラスを超える発電機を作ってやる。待てこの野郎。
作ったジョゼフ家のせがれです。
何？構わん。入れてやれ。
てめえが灰島の社長か？
煮えのいらないアマテラスを超える発電機を作ると言ったね。
ああ、俺の夢は世界の復興だ。柱には森人がいるって言ってたな。第八のみんなが俺を守ってくれる。
言うではないか。それが実現すれば我々としても願ったり叶った。だし条件がある。出資した相当分の権利はもらう。
物資を支給してくれるなら権利なんかいらねえよ。世界を再生できるならな。
決まりだ。
あくまで灰島の目的は利益のためだが、
伝道者とのつながりはなかった。
だいぶ炎の力を制御できるようになったね。
いえ、まだ防火マントがないと不安です。
大丈夫、できるよ。
できる。
Still fucks with me that Rekka is one of his main inspirations.
弱いままでいてくれ。頼む。
So fucked up.
It is fucked up.
It's like they turned something completely toxic into something like that's like the only decent situation to maintain this kid in his current state right now, but this kid needs fuck tons of help beyond what they're giving him.
Yeah. In all honesty, again, Hajime, I don't approve of their methods. I don't like what they do. I don't like the fact that, they look at the sacrifice that the Adola bursts have brought to the nation as, it's like, oh, you could save 15 million people with just your one sacrifice. Just like, but it would have to be a sacrifice that is made by the person in question. Whereas I think the one that's in the Amaterasu, the first Amaterasu generator is not there due to from their own free will. They're there and they're angry about it.
Yep.
Like stupid angry about it. And again, dude, this is different. I know that there's a comparison I just thought of in my head. This compared to the guy from Invincible. The guy who, we both said we liked, and we may not agree with his decisions, but, I forget his name now.
Yeah. Shoot, I forgot his name too.
Here, let me...
Dude that's over the government agency that basically oversees the superheroes.
Yeah, let's
and
see.
Earth's defense as a whole, essentially.
Guardians of the Globe. Cecil Stedman, and then Donald, which sucks that he passed, but
yeah.
Oh well. But Cecil, I could see the president of Hajime having a similar mindset as Cecil, but
he just seems a lot more like he doesn't give a fuck than Cecil though.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. From him being so disconnected because of him playing his Game Boy, basically. But there was something that I noticed whenever Vulcan came into the room. Whenever Vulcan came into the room, look at his eyes right here. His eyes are dead and focused on what is that in front of him.
When he heard it was somebody from the family that built Amaterasu, like his eyes lit up.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. You can actually see his eyes.
He's like, oh really? Let him in.
Yeah. Let me go. And then right here, you see the glow coming to his eyes. He's just like, because he's looking up at someone who is responsible, whose family is responsible for the creation of the Amaterasu.
And somebody that's claiming that he's going to make something better. So he's just like, really?
And given the fact that of this guy's history, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he came up with something that was better. I mean, let's be honest, man. I mean, demanding someone make a sacrifice for so many others, I mean, that's, if you force it on them, that's fucked up. But if they make the decision to do it, cool, awesome. But come on, man.
Something I just thought about was like, I've watched a lot of anime, and I've only finished a few series completely at this point still, and they never finish up like the entirety of like the world building and stuff that they set out to do. And I just hope the series gets to the point where like we finally see like resolutions to like all these things. Like I hope we end with like, yeah, like he's managed to build a new kind of reactor, and Amaterasu is released and dealt with in some way because she's probably not going to be released and just be friendly about everything.
Of course not. I think she was.
And the evangelists are stopped, and the evangelists are stopped. The White Clad are disassembled, and like we get to see and it's going to be like a new era for humanity as we finally rebuild from all the past events and cataclysms that happened and stuff.
Yeah, and hopefully...
instead of just, stopping, at a point being there's still a lot of challenges ahead, but we can face them together because we're all friends. And then be but I want to see you face all the challenges.
That's kind of the point. Yeah, it's I want to see you face those challenges. I want to see you conquer...
It's the way fucking Promised Neverland ended after 2 seasons is basically the way I've seen a lot of other anime end after, way more seasons than that. And I'm just oh, come on, man. It's I never get, I can't think of a series where I've gotten, a proper resolution that I feel everything was tied up.
I don't
have to worry about anything anymore, basically.
I've gotten one.
I don't have to wonder what happened.
I've gotten one, but it's a series that I really want to let you have a chance at watching. I don't want to give away which one it is. But the ending of it, I was just I'm satisfied with this.
Even my favorite ones that I finished, Elfen Lied... I completely know in my mind. I was there's much more to that story, obviously. And there's at least they wrapped up the arc and everything by the time the series ended. But there's still a lot of questions about that world and lots of scenarios to be explored. And of course, the manga keeps going with it. And it's I still need to read that damn manga because I would like to know what happens after that, But it's obviously Deadman Wonderland I got completely dropped off a cliff with because they didn't even finish that one. Let's see. And it's just, there's a lot of other ones that did a lot of world building. I've either still not seen the end of it, or it feels if I have seen the end of it, it just kind of ends. Really? Fortunately, it's highly unlikely we'll ever get a second season. And the problem with it was, for some reason, Japan didn't care for it. Everybody that's caught it over here has been dude, that was awesome, but apparently the Japanese population just didn't care for it. And that's why they didn't renew it.
Again, you see, sometimes Japanese companies, the animation companies, can get inspired and get paid to make more. For instance... Just Big O, because Big O, when the first season of it premiered, everyone was just "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! This is great!" And a lot of people still to this day say that first season is one of the greatest seasons of anime ever, and I agree. And don't get me wrong, the second season has its problems, but at least the second season got friggin' made, And the reason for that was because of Toonami. Toonami and the success that Big O experienced on there is what led to the creation of the second season. And honestly, if something gets big enough on Netflix, and Netflix, it has to start from something organic. For instance, Nick, if you were to go on here, on the internet, and say, hey, I want to see a season 2 of Deadman Wonderland, why has this not been a thing? It's been 10 years. 10 years since we've gotten anything, remotely for Deadman Wonderland in anime form. I want to see more of this. It's on Netflix now. How come Netflix doesn't put up the money for a second season to be made? Because I can tell you one thing, it'll probably be a whole hell of a lot better than Seven Deadly Sins, which Netflix has a vested interest in. It's
that's the thing that worries me though, is Netflix doesn't do very good.
Well, no, Netflix pays for the series to be made. They don't do the animation themselves. No, they pay for it they have a vested interest, and they pay
everybody they hire to make the anime that they pay for is just not worked out very well.
Well, again, dude, here's the thing. I'm not saying not Deadman Wonderland, but I'm not saying Seven Deadly Sins didn't look good. They got the same company, but to me, the story falls apart after they introduce after they introduce I forget the group, but after they introduced this one group, the story for me falls apart.
I never got past like 6 episodes of it.
I watched through the first season and halfway through the second season. Halfway through the second season, I was just like, it's whatever. And for me, there's just so much that was good with that series. But the series was, they got the original studio that worked on the first season. Netflix paid for them to make another season. And, I mean, honestly, if you go to, like, Mappa or Bones or which studio worked on Dead Man Wonderland? Let's see. Dead Man Wonderland. Okay. Let's see. Wikipedia. Animated television series. So, Manglobe. Okay. So, if they get... Let's see. Oh, Manglobe. That's why. They went defunct. They went out of business in 2015. And they reformed as Geno Studios. And they have only done 3 things. Oh, they did Golden Kamuy. Okay. That's interesting. So, who's to say that they won't do that, or it won't go to another studio like Bones or Mappa, or I don't know. There's multiple studios it could go to. But, yeah. I
think that's the reason that video games are my favorite thing, is because world building, if you want to do it right, has to be done over a long period of time. You can't just build a world over the length of like one movie and have it be nearly as epic as something that you could see in a series or a book or a game.
Which is, again, why
John Wick has built like probably one of my favorite world building things over the course of a couple movies now. They actually did a really good job of just establishing the basis for it in the first movie, and I'm really interested and invested in that, and I want to see a lot more of John Wick's world, but you never get that closure to those kind of worlds usually when you're watching anime, it seems like. But at least when I play video games and I finish them, a lot of the times there's a decent amount of closure in quite a few of them, outside of certain series like that will never have any fucking closure because they just become cash cows at this point, like Assassin's Creed. But yeah,
Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, yeah,
or other ones where horrible things happen, like fucking Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, fuck you, Konami.
Yeah, but I mean, at least there's Konami. Like some things like, you know, I don't know. For example, what's a good one recently that I saw? I don't know, because there's still a lot to be done and finished in a lot of them too that I've played, but I think Mo Astray was probably my most recent, like, that I was just like, this was really, really cool. They built this world, went back through all this stuff, and kind of finished it out by the end of it. And it was all pretty epic, and it got a lot of closure at the end. I think they'll probably do a sequel, if I had to guess, if it was successful enough. But I don't know. I just can think of like more things in video games that I was at least satisfied with the way it ended than I can with like anime.
That's fair.
I just hope Fire Force gets to the point that I'm satisfied with the way that it ends.
Well, so far so good. I mean, it's basically met every expectation that people have put on it, and then some, because now there's more and more people who are into the show. And I know there was a lot of people saying, oh, the show's not that good, show's this, show's that. But honestly, the fact that they've been cleared for, I think, another 2 seasons after this one, I mean, don't
get me wrong. It's like, it's not by any means like the most interesting or like complex story I've ever seen, but it's cool enough that I'm like interested to see where it goes, and I would like the answers to the questions and mysteries it's brought up at least at some point.
Yeah.
Like I think Dr. Stone at this point I'm probably more interested in like its main mystery, but it's not quite as complex as Fire Force in terms of what they've set up world building wise.
Fair.
It's got a pretty simple premise behind it, you know.
And I'll say this.
My Hero Academia, they've also done a lot of cool world building in, but it's like what they did with that is they built their world, and we know a whole lot about what's going on at this point, and there aren't too many mysteries left at this point. It's mostly just
funny you mention
now we've built this amazing world for so many stories to play out in, you know.
Well, funny you mention that, because apparently what's going on right now with My Hero Academia, the manga that a friend of mine who is really into it, has told me. He said it's potentially nearing its finale, which I'm just like, don't tell me a damn thing.
Yeah.
Like, do not spoil anything. He's like, I'm not going to. I'll just say this. Prepare yourself. That's all he said. Prepare yourself.
And then you got fucking One Piece, where I hear all kinds of amazing stuff about world building and stuff and how good it is, but it's like
900
the time investment I have to put into
episodes.
to actually catch up with it, not to mention the fact that that dude's going to fucking die before he actually finishes the goddamn
If
thing.
Oda, oh god, it'll go the way of Berserk. Oda's going to die, and One Piece is never going to be finished. Just like Berserk.
It's like, wrap it the fuck up while you're still young, man. Come on.
How old is Oda? Let's see. Yeah, come on, Oda. How old are you? 46. So he's not that old.
People die of heart attacks at 47 all the time. I'm just saying.
Well, let's
fucking
see.
wrap it up while you're still here, man.
Let's see. Let's see how old Kintaro was. He was 54.
See? He didn't make it much longer. He died pretty young.
Damn, dude. Yeah, like everyone was sad about his passing.
You got Hunter x Hunter, where like his back's so bad that who knows if he'll ever actually get to finish it, unless he just tells someone how to finish it for him. You know, it's sad. Like that's one of the things.
It was
some
a
of
heart
these series like got amazing world building ideas and stuff, but like they try to draw it out so long that it never gets done, so you never get that closure to it. Berserk is like, who knows what's going to happen with it now, you know?
I liked your idea of letting Hidetaka Miyazaki finish it off as a video game.
Like, that would be the best possible scenario for that, in my opinion.
Because to me, that is possibly the best outcome.
And I don't really know how he would react to it. He might be too modest for that and be like, no, I'm not going to.
Here's what would have to happen. I think Kintaro's family would have to come to him and literally just be like, look, we want you to work on this and finish this for not just for us and not just for the fans, but for Kintaro, because honestly,
they may also be waiting to see like how Elden Ring turns out before they ask.
That's another thing.
If they even have considered that, because like, if Elden Ring turns out to be another great work from Miyazaki and he had George R. R. Martin on with it, they might be like, would you come do this? And like, if you're comfortable with it, you could have George maybe help you with it if you wanted to. Like,
well, maybe George, or maybe they could bring on someone who is an associate writer on Berserk, because I know that they usually have, like, I know he does a lot of the main writing himself, but there's also a bunch of people that work with you on certain things. Or like on like the building of the world and all that. Not saying ghost writers or anything like that, but
maybe like friends he had discussed his ideas with and stuff.
Yeah, or maybe they go into his journal on where he had the story going and then potentially wrap it up. Because I don't know, man. There's still so much in Berserk's main story that needs to be told. I mean, because I know that Berserk has one of the weirdest releases I've ever seen in terms of its story arcs. I know that they had the animated TV series, the one that came out in the 90s, and then they had the feature films, the Golden Age arcs, which you and me and we need to finish those. We need to finish that. We still haven't watched the third one. And yeah,
now that he's gone, I'm even less really wanting to get into it, though, because I'm like, if I end up liking it too much, then I don't get a conclusion.
And y'all haven't even seen the last part, the final part of the Golden Age arc, which to me is the defining section that really sends the story off and just makes you go, oh, this is getting good. That's where I've been with it. Oh, God. Anyway, enough talking about Berserk. It's making me depressed. Let's move on to the next episode. This was episode 17 of season 2 of...
I'd rather possibly move on to me editing that episode because it's already getting pretty late.
Yeah, it's already almost 1 o'clock. So hopefully you all have enjoyed, and hopefully we will see you all in the next one. So I guess until then, I am Nate.
I am Nick.
We'll see you then, everybody. Peace out.